now tuned into the Spartanite. My name is Nadia Arain. I'm an award-winning mentor, award-winning author, clairsentient psychic, and of course most of you know me as founder of the Spartanite. I am an occult specialist that empowers entrepreneurs for massive profit and impact in all areas of their life, business, love life, happiness, you name it, it's there. You can find all our products and services at www.thespartanite.com. Now today's video, I'm going to try and keep it coherent and I'm going to try and keep it succinct, but I felt that it's very important that I obviously do a topic on this basically. As an occult money mentor, a lot of people and the majority of my clients traditionally come from a mindset of wanting wealth consciousness, but not just the wealth consciousness in itself. They want to know the secrets, so to speak, which I like calling it. So the secrets of wealth consciousness, traditionally what I do, if you don't know me and you don't know much about our Spartanite brand, essentially we use dark divine empowerment to empower bold entrepreneurs. We use raw unapologetic power, which of course covers magical sciences, the occult, and so on and so forth. I do work with the left-hand path, I do work with the right-hand path, so if the left-hand path is something that you're adverse to, this really wouldn't be for you. But for me, it's all about being able to sort of being the master of your own destiny, is what I would call it. So, as most of you know, and if this is the first time to this video, I work with the Goetic Demon, King Clauneck. Some people call him Claunt, some people call him Elentiel. He has lots of different names, but I usually go with Clauneck. And he's got a very masculine voice, very heavy voice, and he has taught me so much about wealth consciousness that it's really exciting for me to share with you today, hopefully. And hopefully you can grab a drink, a notepad, you can sit and watch this in your bed, on your phone, your laptop, you're driving, wherever it is. This is Clauneck's gift to most people. So traditionally, Clauneck is not just a money spirit. I always say he's a spirit of value. And traditionally, a lot of people that struggle with wealth consciousness, they struggle with the ability of not being able to spot value, is what he would say, and so on and so forth, essentially. So you may be coming to this and you may be thinking, what is wealth consciousness? I've never really heard of this. I want to be wealthy, I want more money in my life, but how do I really go about it, essentially? So wealth consciousness in a nutshell, at least for me, and this is what Clauneck shared with me, is the ability to look at money in a very healthy way, in a mutually satisfying way, in a happy way, in a loving way. It is the ability to have a fulfilling and happy relationship with yourself, because remember, money is energy, and what and how we show up with money essentially is going to be very reminiscent of how we show in the world. The universal energy of love and the energies of wealth consciousness generally, they are very free-flowing, they are very open, and they're happy, essentially. Most people live in stock consciousness, most people live in scarcity consciousness, most people live in lack consciousness, which it's a big struggle for them because they only open the door to lack, to sickness, to hardship, which is not going to bring what you're looking for, essentially. So wealth consciousness really, for me, when I teach it, especially to my Spartanite Premium clients, my mentoring clients, and when I do webinars or, you know, whenever I shoot more videos, it's always stressing, it's the knowing of you have enough. Now, some of you might be watching this and thinking, well, I don't have enough. Remember, those thoughts need to change up here inside your head before you get to the point that you think, okay, fine, there's the inner bank, and that inner bank is full, so I will see it on the outside. Hopefully you're pretty much following with what I'm saying. Most people that possess wealth consciousness are exceptionally generous. I know that from experience. I've come from a family like that, and they don't hold back, essentially. If one thing's gone, they'll take the next. They're not really concerned. It's about knowing your true worth and not stepping away from that true worth. What I'm trying to say by this is that there's a lot of people that essentially just, you know, they want this, but they end up settling for this because, oh well, settling for that is better than nothing. That's how you end up with sloppy seconds. In money, in love, everywhere. But obviously, seeing that this is a financial video, we're going to try and focus on that. It's a mentality, it's a set of behaviors, wealth consciousness as well. Somebody that lives in scarcity consciousness and somebody that lives in wealth consciousness, mentally they have a very different story, or a very different narrative of what's going on. So to welcome in the wealth circuits of life, I suppose, that permeates in your day-to-day living, you have to be very conscious about how you approach money and what are you saying about it in its absence, I suppose. So you always have to know that there is enough for everybody in this world, and if you are not focused on wealth and success, you will by default fall back into poverty consciousness. So, you know, there's that saying, where energy goes, I think focus flows, something like that. I can't remember the saying, but you have to like laser target focus on something in order to attract it. And money has very fickle energy, so you have to be hot on the case for most of the time. Okay, so in this earthly realm, as I work with King Clauneck and I work with other left-hand path spirits, you don't need to fight and scramble to garner money for yourself. You don't need to fight people, which most people have this mentality where they feel like they need to fight others. It's sort of like a zero-sum game, which it's not healthy at all. Wealth consciousness traditionally teaches you that you are worthy, that you are deserving about nothing but the very best for yourself. And wealth consciousness to me is a love vibration. It means that you are generous of your time, your money, your gifts, and you know, even your effort to people, I suppose. Scarcity consciousness traditionally for me comes from a place of fear. It comes from a place of always thinking you won't have enough, or always being in fear of something. And most people remember fear money, so think of it that way. Most people are not alignment in wealth because of that fear, in a nutshell, is what I usually say. So money for me is the shadow of eternal value, and when a person builds value within themselves, they will find that money finds them. I have a lot of clients that actually approach me for mentoring, and one of the first things we work on is really building a lot of value within yourself, because I call it PVL, which is personal value level. The higher your PVL, the more likely you can command higher amounts of money. The lower your PVL, well, there isn't much to pay for, is there? A lot of humans must know, and this is Clauneck saying this, that your attachment to money really just clogs up your abundance. If you're so stressed about the fact that you're trying to hold on to something, it's just going to clog it up, and that's not healthy. Most people, they struggle with wealth consciousness because of spiritual blockages, which is something that I will probably cover in a subsequent video. When you align yourself with being spiritually clean, you will discover that wealth consciousness, essentially, and how I describe it, is really nothing more but time freedom, and it's an empowered mindset. Now, what do I traditionally mean by cleaning yourself? Now, cleaning yourself, I offer, so our brand in Spartanite, we offer Spartanite aura cleansers and chakra polishes. Now, we have 7 chakras in the body. I'll try and explain it. The chakras is like an energy center, for those of you who are not aware. We have the crown chakra, which is your head. We have the third eye chakra, which is obviously your third eye. We have the throat chakra, which is where my little choker is. We have the heart chakra, self-explanatory. The solar plexus chakra, which is your belly. The sacral chakra, which is, for ladies, it will be your womb. For the men, just above your genitals. And your root is pretty much your private area, your genitals, your anus, your perineum, your vagina, your penis, whatever you want to call it, essentially. And all of these need to be flowing. They have to have energy that flows between them. And even if one chakra gets blocked up, to me, especially if your solar plexus, because in traditional astrology, or rather planetary magic is what I would say, the sun and Jupiter really control the money flow, and the solar plexus obviously meaning sun, that's the seat of life. Lots of people solar plexus, the catchment net around the solar plexus is too wide, so the money just keeps flowing through, as opposed to it being tight and you can hold on to the money. If you have troubles holding on to money, essentially, that is a solar plexus issue. Now, I did design some incredible money magnetism, wealth magnetism bracelets that essentially eliminate poverty consciousness out of people. They help you spot value in people, and they help engineer money towards you and opportunities as well, which we have some really raving results, and I would implore you to check out the website. I'll throw in the link at the video below. So it is essentially a wealth consciousness mindset. It requires a big vision, and people with tiny little visions, they can't have wealth consciousness because they can't see beyond themselves. It's not a consciousness of victimhood. Most people that struggle with money, they struggle with the narrative of victimhood, like they sort of feel like somebody else needs to come and save them. So I hope that's making sense. You have to remember that wealth consciousness is not let me coddle you type of mentality, let me enable you mentality. That's not healthy for anybody, essentially. Being a master to money ensures that you never become a slave to it, essentially. So I suppose in a nutshell, what I would want to say for this video is that a wealthy person makes money work for them, and the poor, or maybe somebody with a lack consciousness mindset, they end up working very, very hard for that money, and that's not nice. You have to influence your subconscious mindset, and people who possess wealth consciousness, they solve problems for other people. If you really want to be rewarded with money handsomely, you have to solve big problems. You want big money, you have to solve big problems for people, essentially what I say. So in order to make money, you have to remember that money is the more spiritual thing that you can be in possession of, and it is a mutual force, and it has to be developed and held over a period of time. And that would pretty much conclude what I would say Clauneck feels that I need to share from the first video, what is wealth consciousness. So there's a lot more that I do cover on my blogs on our website, www.thespartanite.com. Also, I cover Arabian money magic boxes as well. So for a lot of people watching this, I traditionally work with a lot of entrepreneurs, business people who want to, get better clients, or have better cash flow, have better boundaries. But I also work with people who want to leave that lack story behind them. They want to embrace wealth consciousness. They want to think as a wealthy person does, but they sort of don't know in the first place. We have our Done For You mentoring audio programs, which is Spartanite Pre-Wealth, available on our website, which really teaches you, more than anything, the sort of the laws of money, or I call it the ruby laws of prosperity. And really without those laws, it's very difficult to be able to generate and hold money, because money has its specific laws, and without that it's challenging. And all those laws are something that wealthy people know, which is why they can be in possession of that money. So if you'd like to know more about all our products and services, and how I could personally truly help you as well gain wealth consciousness, you can click the link below at the end of this video, and I would love to hear from you and any comments and any remarks that you have. Thank you so much for watching.